Hi, I'm Dawn from the blog parkinsonsandus.com, where I provide nourishing recipes and joyful living tips for care partners everywhere. Welcome. Today I want to talk with you about crocheting and how I use crochet to reduce anxiety. As a care partner for my guy with Parkinson's, there are definitely days where I deal with stress and I deal with worry and anxiety, and I've really had to come up with some tools to help me reduce anxiety and stress in my life. And crocheting is actually one of those tools. So I learned to crochet back when I was in high school, and I've always crocheted or knitted throughout my lifetime, but in the past maybe 5 years, I really began to see a connection with me crocheting and it helping me with my anxiety and my stress. So I did a little bit of research into crochet. I've always known for me that it's helped me kind of de-stress and calm myself down during moments of anxiety, but I never really did some formal research on to find out why. And there's more research actually when it comes to knitting, but there is research for crocheting as well, and there's a growing amount of research for any kind of craft making, be it knitting, crocheting, sewing, those kinds of things. And they're really discovering that it can be a wonderful tool to help with mental health. They've done studies for depression, they've done studies for anxiety. A lot of people report that when they crochet or when they knit, the rhythmic nature of it, of the up and down motion of the needle and the rhythmic nature of it, can create a sense of calm and peace and happiness. They actually did some studies with some elderly who were in the beginning stages of dementia, and they formed kind of like crochet groups, almost like a coffee clutch, but it's more like a crochet group. And they had these elderlies kind of sit together and they could pick a pattern that they wanted to work on, and they just started crocheting simply, doing simple patterns, and then they would create these designs and make these projects that they would eventually donate to like charity organizations like Caps for Cancer, like chemo caps, or loveys for newborns, for preemies. But when these elderlies were sitting in the group and crocheting, they were discussing their issues, discussing their concerns and their anxiety and their worries, all the while crocheting. And they really found that it helped to give the seniors a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, especially when they were making these crocheted projects to give away. And it also built a nice community for them, not just in the group, but away from the group as well. They developed friendships, and it just gave them a sense of meaning and purpose in their life. So I find that I don't go to crochet or knitting during the summertime when the months are warm and I want to be outside, want to be walking or swimming. But I do find as soon as the weather starts to cool down, I will gravitate towards a craft, and especially crocheting or knitting. So the project I'm currently working on is little washcloths, or like dishcloths. I've created 2, and they're made out of 100% cotton so that I can wash them at any point. And I'm actually using a pattern that is a little bit thicker, so the pattern creates a lot of texture to the cloth. And I've created 2 so far. I created a cream one, and I've created a kind of a dark green. And the last one I'm working on is a striped pattern of that cream or off-white and green. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm excited to use them in my kitchen. And let's take a look. You can see some of the projects that I've done. I will show you the washcloths that I'm working on now, as well as I'll show you some of the other projects that I finished or that I'm also working on. I'm also working on a blanket. It's actually been a while since I've worked on this project, but that's the great thing about knitting or crocheting, is you can always pick it up or set it down however you feel. There's times I will work on something for a few weeks, I'll set it down and I'll actually forget about it or not work on it for months and then go back, and it's so easy to just jump right back in. And reading a pattern is quite easy once you get the hang of it. So I'll put a couple links down in the description below for places you can go to if you've never crocheted before. And it's kind of like a beginning tutorial that I think might be helpful for you. But there's also a lot of videos and a lot of websites out there for specific tutorials or patterns if you're looking for something to make. So I thought it might be fun for you to kind of come along and see what kind of crochet projects I've done in the past and what I'm working on now and how it has helped me reduce my anxiety. And hopefully it will encourage you to give crochet a try. It's really easy and it's a lot of fun, and maybe perhaps it will help you manage your stress levels as well. So let's get started. So this is actually one of the very first projects I made. It is very old. I think I made it in my early 20s, and it really helped me learn how to crochet because each square of this blanket is a different stitch. A friend of mine actually gave me a book. It's called The Complete Book of Crochet Stitch Designs. It's very old, but in it, it had well over 50 crochet stitches and patterns to learn. So I decided I wanted to learn how to make a lot of different crochet stitches. And so I just practiced, and each square is a different crochet stitch, starting with a single crochet and then moving to a double crochet and on to more intricate patterns. But it was an excellent way to learn how to crochet, how to read a pattern, and learn a lot of different stitches. Now this is the crochet project I mentioned that I keep picking up and putting down, and I've actually done so for a couple years now. It's just a light throw, something that you can kind of put on your legs or put in the car just to have, and I am about a third of the way through, and I'm not really quite sure why I pick it up and put it down. It's a simple pattern and the colors I actually really like. I think this fall it's going to encourage me to finish it. This is my Morris boy. He's a Portuguese water dog, and he always is a great comfort. And finally, this is the dishcloth that I had mentioned. I made one in green and one in like an off-white color. And then I decided to make one more alternating the green and white colors. This is a great project to do because it's simple and quick. You easily can make a dishcloth in an evening. And then sometimes when I get tired of crocheting, I'll stop and I'll just take my time and weave in all the little ends. Sometimes I won't do this until I actually finish a project and then do it all at one time. But other times those threads just kind of bug me, and so I'll stop and take the time in the middle of the project just to weave them all in. I really enjoy making these dishcloths, and I'll put a link in the description below for the pattern that I used. So there you have it. I hope you liked this video. It just gave you a glimpse of how I use crochet to reduce my anxiety, and I hope you'll give it a try too. It's a lot of fun. It's quite easy to learn, and like I said, it really does help me reduce my stress and anxiety. And I love just to sit back, especially in the fall and the winter time, just sit back, relax, and work on a project. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll give it a thumbs up or hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be part of the Parkinson's and Us community, I would love that too. It's a wonderful community filled with lots of love and support, where I provide nourishing recipes and joyful living tips for care partners everywhere. So until next time, bye for now.